Hey all, it's Tommy the Butcher for Wise Guys Barbecue with another video for you today. You know, it's November and November means only one thing, Thanksgiving. So we've got something for you so you can gear up for your Thanksgiving dinner this week. We did our own recipe, Italian Stuffing Muffins. You're really gonna wanna see how we did this, and I'm gonna show you how you can do it at home. But before we get started, please like, share, subscribe, ring that notification bell, so you won't miss an episode. Stick around, we're cooking together. So we're gonna get working on a special stuffing. It's gonna be a Wise Guys barbecue stuffing. It's not your typical stuffing. It's got an Italian twist on it. So we're gonna get started, and I'll mention what the ingredients are as we go along, because some of these ingredients are a little unusual. But we're gonna start off with, I got a pan heating up here. I got a couple tablespoons of extra virgin olive oil. And we're gonna add one large onion. It's all chopped up. Get that going. A lot of these ingredients now are very quintessential stuffing ingredients. But as we start putting it all together, you're gonna see where these little twists lie. So we're gonna let these onions go a little bit. A little salt, a little pepper. Now, when you're doing your vegetables, always onions first. Get them in, get them sauteing, get them all nice and translucent, soft, a little bit caramelized. Like I said, we're just gonna let these go for about 3 or 4 minutes. And once they get soft and translucent, we'll begin to add the rest of the vegetables to this. This stuffing is not gonna be your typical stuffing as well. We're actually making stuffing muffins. So, something that you've probably heard of. It's relatively new. It's catching craze as of late, where you build your stuffing mix and you actually put them into muffin tins and you bake them off in muffin tins. So they come out in little individual muffins, little individual servings. You can just put right on the plate. Because they're cooking all small and individual, you're gonna get a lot of like crust, that little caramelization that occurs on the outside. So not only will you get an inner moist, soft stuffing, but you'll get a little bit of crust in every bite. So that's where all the flavor is, on that little crust that kind of builds on the outside of it. All right, these onions are going pretty well. We're gonna add our carrots now. I got 2 cups of diced carrot and 2 cups of diced celery. I'm trying to get all these diced off in equal sized pieces so they all cook at the same time. Once again, I'm gonna go in with a little bit of salt and pepper. Always season every step of the way you go. We're gonna let this go for a little while longer. All right, at this point, we wanna add our garlic. I have a couple cloves of garlic, finely minced. I'm gonna stir just until I begin to smell that garlic. Once the garlic becomes fragrant, you don't wanna let it go very long because it can burn pretty quickly, so I'm gonna put a cover on. That'll allow these vegetables to cook a lot quicker. And we're gonna let that go for about 5 to 7 minutes. I'm gonna lower the heat. And we're gonna get started with the remaining ingredients of our stuffing. So in this pan off to the side, I'm gonna go to the same thing. I'm gonna go in for maybe a couple of tablespoons of olive oil. Now here's where it gets interesting. Normally in a stuffing, you'll find people use a pork breakfast sausage or an Italian sausage, linguiça, chorizo. All those types of sausage meat items are very, very common in stuffings. But here at Wise Guys Barbecue, we're gonna go outside the box as we like to do. And our meat is actually gonna be capocollo, hot capocollo, or what we like to refer to it as gabagool. Now, I picked up a 1.5 pound chunk of hot capocollo. From here on in, I'm gonna call it gabagool because I feel very uncomfortable calling it capocollo, but it's gonna be gabagool. So I put this in my food processor. I cut it up in small pieces, put it in the food processor, and that allowed it to be like somewhat of a ground texture. So, first thing in the pan is a gabagool. Now the gabagool, what it is, it's a spicy cured pork product. Has a lot of flavorings in it, has some heat in it, and has quite a bit of fat content in it as well. So with this process ground up like it is, it's going to actually act like an Italian sausage or any sausage for that matter, because there's a fair amount of fat in this. So we're going to let this go. We want to get it browned off slightly. Stay with it because you don't want this to burn. Checking on our veggies here, they're looking great. I'm going to turn the heat up on this a little bit. Now we're going to stay with this just until we begin to see some color. And then we're going to start going in with the remaining of our ingredients. If any of you remember the Sopranos series way back in the 90s, they brought quite prominent to gabagool, with many references in that television series where they reference gabagool. So I'm sure a lot of you know exactly what it is and have had it at some point in your life, but it's this is going to be a great stuffing. All right, this is going pretty good. Now, the next ingredient I'm going to add, we're going to add some of our dried fruits and nuts, that type of thing. And another very common item on an Italian dinner table during the holidays are chestnuts, or what we call castañas. Normally what the Italian household would do is take all the chestnuts in their shell, scratch a little X into it, and they would roast these off on their table. And this is something that was very, very common, and they would be eaten at the end of dinner. Once dinner was done, even after your dessert, and you're all sitting around at the table, the very last thing you would eat were nuts. It was like a nut course, that type of thing. So roasted chestnuts, very, very popular, not only at Thanksgiving, but at Christmas as well. Oh, I have a half a cup of chopped roasted chestnuts. Now on top of that, we're going in with a half a cup of chopped dried figs. Another quintessential or classic item on an Italian dinner table during the holidays. The chestnuts, dried figs, dates was another popular one. So we're going in with the dried figs. That's going to give a nice little sweet component to this, as well as give it some texture as well. So we're going to let that go. Next, we're going to go in with probably what's in every stuffing, sage, fresh chopped sage. We have a quarter cup of fresh chopped sage. And to that, we're also going to add a quarter cup of fresh chopped parsley. I'm going to get this all mixed up well. Now, I'm not going to go in with any seasoning to this at all. No salt, no pepper. There's quite a bit of that on the gabagool, so there's absolutely no need to go in with any salt or pepper at this point. Just get these ingredients all blended well. All right, this is going pretty good. I'm going to check on our vegetables. Oh yeah, these are nice and soft. Just what we're looking for. Turn the heat off on the vegetables and just stay here with the gabagool. All right, we're good to go. All right, a heat's killed. We have no heat in any of these pans. I'm gonna go in with the meat, gabagool, fig, chestnut mixture. Get it all in the same pan. Now we're gonna get it all incorporated. All right, at this point, I'm gonna check for seasoning, but I strongly feel it's not gonna need it. With that gabagool present, there's quite a bit of salt and pepper in that. Just as I thought, it's fine. Okay, we're gonna let that cool down for a few minutes, maybe 10 to 15 minutes before we continue on, so stick around, don't go anywhere. All right, we're moving right along. Stuffing mixture, well, the meat mixture has cooled down, so now we can begin to put it all together. So, first thing we're gonna do, I have a bowl with 5 whole eggs. Gonna get these beaten up. And to that, I'm going to be adding half a cup of buttermilk. Our eggs and buttermilk are all ready. Next, I have 3 cups of, this happens to be Italian bread. We're doing a Wise Guy style Italian Stuffin Muffins, so of course, you got to use Italian bread. So I have 3 cups, removed all the crust, and then cut it up into maybe 1/2-inch dice cubes. So we're going to go into a large mixing bowl. Then we're going to take all our meat mixture and get all that in there. Everything's coming together now. All right. Get this tossed up a little. And finally, we're going to go in with our egg and buttermilk mixture. This is going to be the binder. It's going to keep everything nice together while it's baking off in those muffin tins. So I'll get this all combined. Okay, you want to mix this well. Take your time with it, because not only do you want to get everything, all the ingredients incorporated, you want to keep mixing it until you can see the bread begin to absorb some of the egg, some of the moisture that's in there. And once you see that happening, we're ready to finish up our stuffing before we get it into the oven. I'm gonna let that sit for a few minutes and absorb. All right, I have like I said, I have a 12 muffin tin. It's all buttered. You can either use butter or like a spray oil, anything like that, but get it all lubricated. And as you can see, this is gonna work much better with your hands rather than a spoon, because you can pull this off in no time. So get it in there, pack them down tight. You want to get these nice and full and mounded a little bit at the same time. They're ready for the oven. It's preheated. We're running at 350. We're going to let them go for about a half an hour and then check on them to see how they're coming along. We're just going to wait till they get nice golden brown, but 350 for about a half an hour. All right, see you in 30 minutes. All right, our Italian stuffing muffins have cooled down, and now we got to get them out of these trays. So I'm going to show you probably your best bet to get them out of there is grab a cookie sheet, a baking sheet, get it on top, and hopefully, if all goes well, we're going to flip these and they'll all come out. Tap on them a little bit. Please, please, please. Whoa, check that out. Now, some of these don't have the color that the tops have, so I'm gonna flip these over. There's our little individual Italian stuffing muffins. They're gonna go great on the side as a side dish to our roast turkey. All right, there you have it. That's how easy it is to take these Italian stuffing muffins, get them out of the muffin tin, and you're all ready to get them served up. All right, that turkey was outstanding, and I can't wait to dig into one of these Italian stuffing muffins, because I'm pretty sure you're gonna be doing this at home after you see what we did. Now I'm cutting into one. You can see it's nice and moist inside. We've got nice, like crusty morsels on the outside. Folks, this is an original, and it's gonna go far. I know it is, because you're gonna love this with the gabagool, with the dried figs, with the roasted chestnuts. It's just not something you're gonna see anywhere. So you gotta do this at home, and you'll be the first as well, because your guests are gonna love it. There you have it, folks. We brought Wise Guys Barbecue Thanksgiving to your house. I hope you're gonna do this for your friends, for your family, because I know they're gonna love it. Please like, share, subscribe, ring that notification bell so you will not miss an episode. Thank you so much for watching, and I can't wait to see you next time. Happy Thanksgiving.